My name is Sonia, and from the day I married Dave, I knew I was stepping into a family filled with shadows. You know how they say love is blind? Well, mine was completely blind, deaf, and dumb. I ignored the strange things I saw, like how Mama Erin's smiles never reached her eyes, or how the house always smelled of burnt incense, even when no one lit anything. Dave was my world. I loved him with the kind of foolishness that makes you believe you can endure anything. But love couldn't stop the pain of 3 miscarriages in just 2 years. The first one nearly broke me. The second almost shattered our marriage. By the third, everyone had started whispering behind my back.
She must be cursed. Maybe she did something terrible in her past. Some women are just barren, no need to sugarcoat it.
I heard them all, even when they didn't say it directly. Dave changed too. He stopped laughing like before. He stopped touching me like a man touches his wife. He started sleeping on the edge of the bed, as if even our sheets couldn't hold both our grief and his disappointment. Then one afternoon, everything shifted. It was a quiet Thursday. I was folding clothes in the bedroom, when Mama Erin walked in without knocking. She had a way of moving that never made a sound, like a shadow. She smiled, holding out a small black box.
I brought something for you,
she said softly, opening it to reveal a black beaded bracelet, with tiny red stones glinting in between.
I got this from a powerful prophetess. It protected my first daughter-in-law too, until her enemies got to her.
Wait, what happened to her? She ignored my question, and instead reached for my wrist.
Let me put it on you, my dear. You need this more than prayers. Wear it always, especially at night.
I hesitated, but I was desperate. So I let her tie it around my wrist. The moment it snapped shut, I felt something, like a strange warmth rushing through my veins.
Good. Now, you're covered.
That night, for the first time in months, I slept without nightmares. No blood, no screaming babies, no running in dark forests. I woke up drenched in sweat, but strangely at peace. 2 weeks later, my period didn't come. I waited another week, then another. Dave noticed.
Have you checked?
No, I took the test. Positive. Dave carried me like a child, laughing and crying at the same time. For the first time since our wedding, I saw joy return to his face. The whole family danced. Mama Erin even slaughtered a goat, and gave thanks in church. It was a miracle, everyone said. But then something happened. One hot Sunday afternoon, I was cleaning the bookshelf in Mama Erin's sitting room. She had gone for women's fellowship, and I was alone in the house. I wasn't snooping, God knows I wasn't. But one of her old Bibles fell open, and a photograph fluttered out. I bent to pick it up. It was a woman. Smiling. Pretty. Her eyes held the same spark I once had, before life drained it out of me. But what made my breath hitch was the bracelet on her wrist. The same black beaded bracelet, with red stones. I flipped the photo. On the back, it said, "Faye, may your soul rest in peace." My legs almost gave out beneath me. Faye, Dave's first wife. The one they never really talked about. The one who, according to whispers, died mysteriously after losing 3 pregnancies. Why was she wearing this same bracelet? Why did Mama Erin say it protected her? My hand began to tremble as I stared at the photo. Suddenly, everything inside me screamed to take the bracelet off. I tried. It didn't budge. I pulled and twisted, even tried to cut it with a kitchen knife, but it wouldn't come off. The thing felt like it had merged with my skin. That night, I couldn't sleep. Dave was snoring beside me, peaceful, as if nothing was wrong. But I kept hearing faint whispers, like voices calling from a distance. They weren't loud, but they were constant, soft, persistent murmurs that made my heart race. I got up, turned on all the lights, and even played gospel music on my phone. Nothing helped. Then, at midnight, I felt it. Heat. The bracelet began to burn. I screamed, shaking my hand, but the heat only grew worse. I ran to the sink, and poured cold water on it, no effect. And then, the sobbing started. Not outside, not in the hallway, from inside the wardrobe. I stood there, frozen. The sound was unmistakable. A woman, crying. Broken, heart-wrenching sobs that pierced the silence like daggers. I took a shaky step back. "Dave," I whispered, nudging him. He didn't stir. I looked at the wardrobe again. The sobbing continued. This was no dream. I wasn't imagining it. Tears welled in my eyes as I backed away slowly, the bracelet still hot on my wrist. I didn't open the wardrobe. I couldn't. But something, or someone, was in there. Something tied to this bracelet. Something tied to Faye. Something that had now found me. I screamed like my soul had caught fire, my hands clawing at the air, my body trembling as the bracelet burned into my skin like a branding iron. Dave jolted awake beside me, nearly falling off the bed in panic.
What is it? What happened?
Wardrobe. There's someone in the wardrobe. I heard sobbing. He opened the wardrobe with a loud creak, revealing only our neatly hung clothes, shoes, and a pile of boxes on the bottom shelf.
It's empty, Sonia. Are you sure you're okay?
I heard her, Dave. Someone was crying.
You've barely slept since Mama gave you that thing. Maybe it's just stress?
Maybe he was right. Maybe it was stress. Or maybe I was losing my mind. But even as he spoke, the bracelet grew warm again, almost in agreement. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wardrobe, waiting for the crying to return. By morning, I had made up my mind. I called my best friend, Tracy. I didn't care how ridiculous I sounded.
"I'm coming to pick you. We'll go to my pastor. Just hold on. You look like you haven't slept in days. What is that thing, Sonia?"
I opened my mouth to explain, but burst into tears instead. At the church, the pastor didn't even want to touch the bracelet. He looked at it from a distance, his face tightening with something I hadn't seen before, fear.
This is not just a charm. It's a covenant, and it's hungry.
What does that mean?
It means something was exchanged when this was given to you. Spiritually, a bond, and breaking it might not be safe.
I left the church more shaken than I had entered. When we got back to my place, I marched straight to Erin's room. She was humming and folding wrappers like nothing had happened. "Mama, I want to take off the bracelet."
Take it off. Why?
It's affecting me. I can't sleep. I'm seeing things. I feel like someone's watching me. Please, just.
Sonia, are you trying to reject your blessing?
What blessing? This thing is not a blessing. It's.
Do you want to lose this pregnancy too? Or have you forgotten what happened the last time?
That wasn't my fault.
No, but maybe it was because you didn't accept the protection being offered. This bracelet has been in our family for generations.
I turned to Dave later that evening, hoping he'd back me up. But he just stood there, torn.
She's my mother, Sonia. If she says it's tradition.
And I'm your wife. Don't I matter? He looked away. That night, I sat in the living room long after everyone else had gone to bed. The shadows in the corners seemed darker than usual. The silence too loud. I could hear whispers, my name. Faye's name. The bracelet tightened every time I tried to pull it off. My wrist had begun to bruise beneath it. I woke up to blood on my pillow. My nose had bled again in the night. And that was when I decided, I had to know the truth. During a heavy storm, with thunder rattling the windows, and rain hitting the roof, I tiptoed into Erin's room while she was bathing. The key was under her pillow, just like I'd seen her do every night. I knelt by her bed, heart racing, and pulled out the small wooden box she always kept locked. Inside were old photos, some candles, and a notebook, Faye's diary. The first few pages were innocent, entries about school, boys, her love for Dave. But the last few pages grew darker. One page stopped me cold. She gave me a bracelet. She said it would protect me. Now I see her dancing in my dreams, wearing red, calling me to follow her. If I die, tell Dave it wasn't my fault. My hands trembled. Suddenly, the lights flickered, then went out completely. The room fell into darkness. Then, a sob. Not mine. Slowly, I turned toward the doorway. A female figure stood there. Barefoot. Drenched from the rain. Her white nightgown clung to her skin like second flesh. Blood streamed from her eyes like tears. I couldn't scream. I couldn't breathe. She took a step forward. Then another. Whispering my name. I didn't wait to scream. I didn't even wait to think. I ran, barefoot, my heart punching my ribs so hard I thought it would shatter them. The corridor felt longer than usual, stretching, twisting, playing tricks on me. I don't remember hitting the floor. 1 second I was running, the next, I fell and went unconscious as darkness swallowed me. The next morning, I woke up on the cold floor, shivering, my body damp with sweat and fear. My head throbbed like I'd been slammed into a wall.
Sonia? Sonia.
Dave's voice pierced the silence. I felt his arms wrap around me as he lifted me gently.
Jesus. Your body is ice cold. What happened?
I couldn't speak. I just looked at him, and tears slid down my face. That was the moment I stopped caring about what anybody thought. I didn't care if the neighbors called me mad. I didn't care if people thought I was overreacting. I wanted to live. And I wanted to save my child. Take me to Pastor Frank. Please, if anyone can help, it is God through him.
Sonia, are you sure? What if?
I'm not going there for shame. I'm going there to survive. To be free. The pastor's compound was quiet when we arrived, but Pastor Frank welcomed us with a grave look, as though he already sensed the battle I was carrying.
You brought the bracelet.
He said, before I even showed it. I stretched out my wrist. The bracelet glowed faintly, black beads pulsing like a heartbeat.
This is not a gift. This is a covenant with death. A bloodline curse designed to exchange one life for another. You're carrying a child, but this object is demanding another life in return. That is why Faye, the first wife, could not live. Unless the covenant is broken, it will demand you too.
My God. What have we done?
Pastor Frank laid his hand on my head, and began to pray in tongues. His voice thundered, echoing in the house. He then quoted Isaiah 49:25.
But thus says the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered, for I will contend with him that contends with you, and I will save your children. This is a spiritual battle. And it requires sacrifice, not of blood, but of prayer and fasting. For 7 nights, you and Dave will fast until 6 p.m., and we will pray together at midnight. By the 7th day, this chain must break.
I nodded, tears streaming down my face. But when we got home, I screamed. The bracelet was no longer just on my wrist, it had merged into my skin. The beads were now under my flesh, as though I had been born with them. Dave saw it too. His eyes widened in horror. That was when it happened. In the bathroom mirror, blood began to drip across the glass. 3 letters, then more. F-A-Y. We stared at the mirror as if it had grown fangs.
Okay. Okay. I believe you now. I believe everything.
After the 7 days fasting and prayer, at night, we returned to the pastor's house. The pastor had already prepared the altar, 7 candles lit, the floor anointed with oil, and the sound of worship music filling the air.
In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, every covenant of death, every demonic exchange, every power demanding blood, break now.
The bracelet began to heat up. I bit my lip, holding back a scream. Then it happened. The bracelet screamed. Yes, it screamed. The sound didn't come from my mouth. It came from the beads themselves. A sharp, animalistic screech that shook the walls. One by one, the beads burst into ash and fell to the ground. I collapsed, unconscious. When I opened my eyes, it was morning. Birds chirped. The sunlight felt warm again. Like it was truly morning for the first time in weeks.
You made it.
The bleeding had stopped completely. The scan at the hospital confirmed the baby was healthy, kicking, and very much alive. We named her Peace, for at last we were at peace. Erin. She vanished 2 days later. Some say she walked into the river and never came back. All I know is, I am alive. I lived. But I am not the same. Because every night, when I close my eyes, I still hear that scream. And sometimes, just sometimes, I feel beads under my skin again.